am back with recordings from what we did in the last class, which was week 9. In week 9, we had an introduction to Photoshop. With this introduction, we got about halfway through with creating a mock-up. What you see on the screen right now is a mock-up of a Seasons website. As you know, we've been working on the Seasons website before, but we've been doing it without Photoshop. Now, this is a different layout, and we'll be using different pictures and different setups throughout this one. But this is the Seasons website, and this is the mock-up of the website, and that's all we did last class. I thought that I grabbed everything, but I don't have the file that we did in class. So, of course, I freestyle, so this is going to be a variation of this site that we built. So, the colors might be different. Everything might be different because really, this site is just to show you how to do it. You're going to create your own mock-up that you're going to bring to class next class. So there are 3 things that are due for the next class. It's a mock-up just like this, done in Photoshop, of your website that you're going to do. Also, let me open up Illustrator. You're going to have either a sketch. Now, this is considered a sketch. I did this in Illustrator, so of course I just made boxes and labeled everything out. You can sketch this on paper. This is just a website mock-up. It's considered a wireframe is another name for it. And it's just a wireframe of what your site's going to look like. So it has the body. You would have like whatever color you're going to use, body blue. I just have a generic one because I don't have colors and stuff in here. But yours will be complete. So it'll say body, and it might say color, like whatever RGB you're going to use, or whatever hexadecimal numbers. That's the one with the pound sign and the 6 numbers behind it. Or it could just say body pink or body blue or body green or whatever color scheme that you have. And so here's your Seasons site mock-up. And then inside of here, this is the wrapper. And I have that labeled here. You would have like whatever size you think it might be. Maybe you're going for a wrapper inside of your site that's maybe 960. So then you would just put width 960. Maybe you're going for a wrapper that's 800. You put width 800. Maybe you want the one that's 1,000. You put width 1,000. So whatever your width is going to be for your wrapper, you would have your header. Whatever width you're going to have your header. SM, I introduced this to the class last class. It stands for social media. So these are just the social media links that you'll use in your site. Nav, this is for your navigation area. Notice I have around mine, yours doesn't have to have this, but I chose to do like dotted lines instead of a solid stroke. And the reason I chose the dotted lines is because there's not actually a box for this. It's just going to be my nav area, or it's just a placeholder for where the nav is going to be. Then I have a side, and I have main, and have footer. And again, yours might say a side color green or main color such and such. And this is all written in, or you can use Illustrator or Photoshop to create boxes and just type that information in. So you can come to class with either a sketch, so this sketched out on paper, or you can go into whatever program you choose, Photoshop or Illustrator, and you can design this out with neat boxes. Okay, so this is the mock-up. So you need this is the sketch of your of the wireframe of your website, or what it's going to look like. That's what this part is. Then what you also need to come to class with is here we go, is your sitemap. And this is the sitemap, and this can be sketched again on a sheet of paper. It'll have the title of your site. So let's say my name was Jane Cook, then, and I wanted a portfolio site, so it might say Cook's portfolio sitemap, or it might say Jane's portfolio sitemap or something like that. So that's what it's going to say at the top is the title. Again, this can be sketched. It does not have to be neat and in the computer. That's just my thing. That's what I do. And then so I have the main page, which is your hub page, which is your index.html page. Okay, so it says Seasons page because that's the title of the page. But then it has index.html. This is telling me what I'm going to name all of my links. That's what this bottom name is. And it keeps it organized. So here's my structure of my site. Index.html is my hub. That means all pages that are going to go through this. Then we go down to the winter page, winter.html, spring page, spring.html is the link name, summer page, summer.html is the link name, and fall page, fall.html is the link name. Okay, this is what's going to keep you organized. This is what you're going to refer back to. So when you come to class, you need to have the sitemap, which is this one. You need to have the wireframe or the mock-up or the sketch of your home page layout, which is this one. And then if you notice, this is the mock-up. If we look at the Photoshop file, so we have header, right? And in our Illustrator, we had, all right, so we have the wrapper. Wrapper is this area right here. Body is this area right here. And we have header, this area right here. Inside of header is social media. So if we look at our mock-up for that area only, so we have our body area here, our wrapper, then our header, and then our social media right here, okay? It's the mock-up of this site, just a wireframe. Then we have our nav area. As I told you, it was outlined in the dotted lines because it's not really in a box. Although the web reads it as a box, it's not really in a box. So if you look here, I have the dotted lines for the nav area. It matches pretty much. Next, we're going to look at our side, our main, and our footer. So we'll look at the structure in here, the wireframe, aside. It's just a box over here to the left. It has a float on it, of course. Main is over here to the right with a float on it, and footer is down here at the bottom. So if we look at Photoshop, we see, okay, here's our side right here. It's a box. We have our main area right here. It's also in a box. And then we have our footer, which is also in a box, okay? So this is how they relate to each other. This is called your pre-production, where you're doing all of your sketching and stuff in the beginning. And then this is pre-production as well, but it's when you go into Photoshop and you start building what your site's going to look like. Okay. And apparently I have a notification. See that Facebook thing showed up. Another thing I did is I changed the resolution on here. I made the resolution of the videos larger in hopes that the videos aren't as blurry. So I am really hoping that it's not very blurry. I'm hoping that this works as a solution to make the videos a little more clearer. So I'm going to try this for a while. And like I said, again, in hopes that it works. All right, so here is our Photoshop mockup. Inside the mockup, there are a few things I'm going to go over in the next video, but I don't want this one to be too long. So this is where I'll leave you with in this video, and we'll pick up again in a moment. In just a few.